Okay.
All right, ready to do your right-wing grift. He's got the setup. That's all you need right there. That is the background for every wannabe right-wing grifter. He's got the starter kit, guys. Let's go.
A quick rundown of Dark Viper for those unfamiliar. He's a YouTuber with a storied past and different ventures. He started as an atheist channel where he debated Christians, and then he went on
Whoa, really? Holy shit, where are those clips?
this freeboot gig where he was basically upscaling different debates and whatnot until it eventually got demonetized for, you know, stealing content, which is very ironic. He also ran a reaction channel.
Very ironic. Yeah, and of course he ran a reaction channel.
Each meticulously written page. It's 14 page. Meticulous page. It's 14 pages! On page 14, Dark Viper, fuck the Loch Ness Monster, is 14 pages long.
I still don't know the context of the Loch Ness Monster part. It just comes out of nowhere. Fuck the Loch Ness Monster.
I've been almost up for 24 hours. I will not chill.
Bro is a fantasy writer on par with Sanderson.
Indeed. Fucking indeed. I'm not used to dealing with this level of anger. I don't understand how to deal with this level of anger. I cannot.
Maybe you should go play some Among Us.
Try and use it, but Ethan and his fans clearly do not use or see it that way. In general, Ethan has never understood the difference between jokes and mockery. He views insults as jokes because he finds joy in hurting others.
You ever seen like a roast on Comedy Central? It can be done in a friendly manner. You can mock someone and that can be the joke. Cameron F305 dropped his latest content cop. He is determined to take the crown. His last one wasn't that great, I'll admit it. First one took everyone by surprise. Second one wasn't that great. And this one he's doing on empaths. Whatever that means. It's got Dark Viper and Ian in the thumbnail. It's an hour long. We'll see how this goes. Let's see what you've cooked up for us. Modern day Content Cop version 2.0. Cameron F305, take it away.
What we do here is go back.
Before I dive headfirst into a pool of concrete, let me give you some backstory. As your new local content cop, I scour the internet daily hoping to make it a better place. I can't just focus on our most wanted list, otherwise everyday content criminals would get away scot-free. And today, that was my plan. Believe it or not,
Is Ian not on the most wanted list?
there was no plan for another items mentioned on this channel until my Meet the Jamhas deep dive video.
He's gimped, he's raped, he's gay.
And after today, no matter what happens, I'm going to stand by that. However, today, I had to make the exception. You see, today's video was only supposed to be about our little Australian empath known as Dark Viper AU.
Why can you not stop lying?
God, that is gonna be a crash out that everyone uses forever. This man, and that is a brutal frame to fucking pause on. There's your thumbnail right there. God, he is so good at dropping those audio clips. It's 14 pages, and now you're gonna get this one forever. Why do you do this, man? Why do you do this? Just don't turn the camera on. Just don't turn the camera on. Oh, I'm here for it though.
Please stop lying.
But thanks to my busy college schedule, my move in August, and, you know, the events of September 2025, a lot has changed. I'm putting this here in the beginning to let everyone know that this is not going to be the iDubbbz drama channel, and my last video goes further into that. But with all that out of the way, on to the video. Empathy. The ability to understand and share the feelings of another. An ability most are born with.
But you can learn it at the ripe old age of 32. You don't have to tell Ian what it means, son. He knows. All right, he knows.
Others unlock it at age 32. And others never gain it. Empathy. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? White girls on Twitter go nuts for this shit. Yo, what up, Black Panther? Welcome back to another episode of Content Cop. Today's episode will focus on two empaths, and for that reason, I feel it's important to lay out the term empathy. You know, what it means, how it's been misused, and why it's a buzzword for this genre of people. Empathy can be summarized as putting yourself in another person's shoes to understand and feel their emotions. You know, gay shit. Sometimes a total lack of empathy can be symptoms of...
Hey, straight men can be empathetic too. Okay, emotions aren't gay.
conditions like autism, NPD, BPD, or...
Was that just a robot?
lack of empathy can be symptoms of conditions like autism.
It's just a robot. Somebody I hadn't covered on the channel, but he is quickly becoming one of my new favorite locales. I've been meaning to cover him. I just haven't had the time. The drama just keeps dramaing, boys. It just keeps dropping. I can't cover all the stuff I want to cover.
NPD, BPD, or sociopathy. Other times it stems from environmental factors. Everyone type 1 in the chat if you're a sociopath. Oftentimes the term is confused with another basic fucking human emotion, sympathy, which is feeling bad or feeling pity for someone else. The two are similar in nature, but very different in practice. Today's episode of Content Cop Reload is sponsored by my socials and my lovely patrons and members. For behind the scenes content and live streams, be sure to check out my second channel, Chaos.
Wait, comparing empathy to sympathy, is that where he's going to make the connection with Charlie Kirk? Is he going to mention the Charlie Kirk clip where Charlie Kirk says he doesn't believe that empathy is real, but he believes in sympathy? And I'm like, they're kind of weird to believe in one and not the other because they're so similar. But okay, let's see where he goes with this.
Cameron. Join the Discord server and interact with the community. And don't forget to follow that Twitter and Instagram. Or you could support me like these lovely people by becoming a patron or channel member. And of course, don't forget to smash that motherfucking like button and subscribe, bitch. Now that we have our definitions laid out, let's get in.
Wait, didn't I fucking kill that squid? How's it back? Does it just come back? I'm not killing it a second time.
Into how the term empathy has been misused and causes eye rolls for many. Other than its conflation with the term sympathy and other broad applications, the destruction of the term is pretty easy to pinpoint in my honest opinion. In fact, it directly ties to the uprising of virtue signaling that we covered in my last Content Cop. Most of the time when the term empathy gets brought up, it gets used in superficial corporate initiatives. It's often used as a catch-all term to show how you're the bestest person. It's weaponized in debate or discourse, or it's used by armchair psychologists to diagnose people, etc. In these cases, when many people feel overexposed to the term, they'll become cynical. My audience likely feels this cynicism every time they hear iDubbbz talk about his empathy. So why do our subjects today love to use this term? Well, it's their buzzword for morality, which in turn feeds on the vulnerable. It's their way of telling you that I'm a decent person. I feel everyone's pain. However, anyone with a brain can obviously tell you that that's just not the case. Like, nobody, with the exception of Jesus, is going to understand the life experience of everyone. In human nature, it's just harder to feel empathy for situations or people that you can't relate to. That's where sympathy should come in. Cameron, do you really think I'm a fucking idiot? Why are you telling me that?
Fuck.
Well, that's a great question, and it'll all make sense. Remember to keep it in mind as we meet our empaths, because believe it or not, they're giant hypocrites and very whiny babies.
It's fucking distracting. Oh, good.
Now, our first empath is a familiar face to the channel. You know him, the 40-year-old empath, iDubbbz. Now, if you've already seen my Content Cop on iDubbbz, you could skip ahead 10 seconds. Are they gone? Good. You haven't watched my magnum opus?
Damn
I
it.
swear. Take this citation and watch, or you're gonna pay a hefty fine.
We did watch it. Okay, calm down.
Not cool, dude. Unlike my predecessor, I try to be fair and give as much context as possible. But since you probably know the iDubbbz empathy lore, I won't spend too much time on it. However, for the sake of context, we can briefly go over his publicly stated principles on empathy. That way, we have it in mind for when we see that empathy in action. So, in 2023, after a miasma of controversy related to Creator Clash, iDubbbz dropped a video apologizing for his old edgy content. Y'all know the story. It was fine if he wanted to move on. He's free to do that. But then he dropped his reasoning as to why he made the type of content that he did.
Of course I have empathy, but I never did. I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy, and I've realized it because I just can't help myself but like feel for other people's pain and suffering now.
Unless they're your Jewish best friends, I guess. Okay, so he didn't have empathy, and now that he's gained it at age 32, he can't help but feel for other people's pain and suffering. Just keep...
But Jewish people aren't people. Jews aren't people. You didn't know? Well, now you know. See, that's why iDubbbz doesn't feel any empathy for Ethan.
Just keep that in mind. Just keep that one in mind, all right?
You know, my empathy meter's only maybe like a quarter of the way filled
I feel
up.
like he's kind of rehashing stuff he did in the last one. I mean, I get the theme of the video, but it still kind of feels like he's rehashing a little bit here.
Potentially, but it's at least there.
Who could forget this out? We love this out. The empathy meter. He slid that in just in case he forgot to feel a few people's pain. You think it's funny? You think the empathy meter's funny? The empathy meter's bad? Okay.
I just want you guys to know that
At least he's not doing the weird German voice that doesn't really apply to Ian. Mr. Mackey's probably a better fit. He unlocked the skill like a character in an RPG. He needs to refund their skill points. That one's glitched. It's not working for him.
you can unlock ability empathy if you experience more life. It might take you getting hurt a little bit, but it's worth it. It is so worth it.
It is so worth it. Woo! You feeling that empathy? I'm feeling that empathy. So his overall message laid out a couple of years ago about his empathy was that he gained it at age 32. He now feels for everyone's pain and suffering with the possible exception of the occasional miss as a result of that low empathy meter. But most importantly, if you put your heart and soul into it, I'm acting up just thinking about it, you too can acquire empathy. Woo! Oh, praise the Lord.
Let that Holy Ghost language come up out of you.
He's digging deep for the clips on this one. Respect. I remember when that shit came on TV. All right, I'm showing my age now. I had empathy long before it came on TV.
What a wholesome message, dude. If you're a fucking sociopath with zero life experience, my God, like, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just an idiot, but I'm pretty sure most normal people just kind of have that empathy. I'm pretty sure it's just there, okay? This isn't some life journey you usually have to seek out, okay? I can't be the only one. Maybe people are just built different, and I'm just a bigot. Regardless, there's a little brief rundown of Ian's empathy lore.
Fuck my wife. I'm sort of a cuckold man myself. Please, have a great time.
Now, let's move on to our next empath. The tyrant of Tylenol himself, Dark Viper
The tyrant of Tylenol.
You.
I was literally speechless. I did not speak that entire time because I was so confused why we were still in the game. I have never been this mad at a person in the entirety of my life.
Where did he find that clip? It took me forever to find it, and I didn't save it when I had the chance, because Dark Viper has gone through a lot of trouble to try to scrub that clip from the internet. Effectively Streisand affecting himself.
A quick rundown of Dark Viper for those unfamiliar. He's a YouTuber with a storied past and different ventures. He started as an atheist channel where he debated Christians, and then he went on
Whoa, really? Holy shit, where are those clips?
This freeboot gig where he was basically upscaling different debates and whatnot until it eventually got demonetized for, stealing content, which is very ironic. He also ran a reaction channel.
Very ironic. Yeah, and of course he ran a reaction channel.
At one point, I'm pretty sure, until eventually becoming a GTA speed.
Oh, don't say pretty sure. Don't say pretty sure. You have to be on point or he's going to call you a liar. This autistic fuck, it works and everything has to be literal. Ah, I missed it. Oh well.
Runner. And for the past several years, he's been one to stick his little nose into all sorts of controversy and sometimes starting some drama of his own. He's got a history of horrible responses to criticism and just general schizo behavior that's been well documented. If you're just unaware or one of his diehard fans, I recommend you guys watch the videos about him by the British Runner, who go way deeper than I'm willing to go into today. But for the sake of this video, I'll go over a few notable examples. He constantly inserts himself into drama, going on aggressive rants.
Okay, I'll give him credit. He quickly went over the iDubbbz stuff. I think he realized he was treading old ground, but it was worth calling out a second time. So I'll give him a pass for retreading old ground because he did it quick, and the Dark Viper stuff needs to be called out by more people. Curious to see if Dark Viper leaves a comment on his channel or tries to strike him for this.
on Twitter. He's got the lolcow gene of unnecessarily responding to absolutely everything with pages and walls of text. Oftentimes he executes that classic cycle of starting some shit or attacking someone and then asserting himself correct, then his shitty behavior backfires, and then he plays the victim. He's got this crusade against React content, which, as someone who's pro fair use and heavily critical of lazy reaction videos, it sounds innocent enough. Until you realize how extreme he is with it. He claims all reactors are bad people. But before I go any deeper with that, this is just like a common trend with Dark Viper. He just doesn't understand nuance. There's just never any in between. Anyways, in his tweet, he attaches a 14-page document, where he shows how strong his empathy is. He unironically makes the case that
He didn't play the 14 pages clip? Fuck, I fucked it up again. No.
React content is comparable to date rape. I'm not joking.
There's a whole section in here where he basically compares reactors to sexual abuse criminals and insinuates that they'd be likely to spike your drink at a party, take silence for consent. Basically is comparing React content creators to rapists. Completely unironically, it's not some edgy joke or anything, it's posting cringe on main that he truly believes and defends in the comments when someone called him out for it. It says, yeah, reactors are likely to commit sexual abuse. He says it's hyperbole, but only slightly so. The difference between actively ignoring consent for financial gain is not so far removed from ignoring consent for sexual gratification.
Calm down! You calm the fuck down!
He does this in order to label all reaction content creators as bad people, while also claiming that everyone fine with their content being reacted to is being forced to because of fucking the way the culture works or whatever. It's a very dumb argument, and it only makes those
Yeah, that no one ever got to talk about, because if you tried to, he would have struck your channel. He needs to call that shit out too, where he strikes people for talking about his content. Which is why no one can actually have this argument about fair use, because he has just completely poisoned the well on that argument with this autistic argumentation line of his.
those of us who are fine with transformative reaction content but have a problem with fair use violations in reaction content look bad. Most people initially disregarded the document because of how ridiculous it was, except for most critical who was mentioned in the document. Now, Charlie did get some things wrong while covering it, so in response, Dark Viper made a video
because he didn't read all 14 pages
where he did correct Charlie in what he got wrong, while simultaneously having a huge fucking meltdown while misrepresenting Charlie.
I don't know what he's responding to here, but I did write a 14-page script explaining it's a 14-page document. You against a 14
There it is. There's the montage. Cue the montage.
page meticulously written page. It's 14-page meticulous page. It's 14 pages. On page 14, Dark Viper, fuck the Loch Ness Monster, is 14 pages long.
I still don't know the context of the Loch Ness Monster part. It just comes out of nowhere. Fuck the Loch Ness Monster. Jesus. What the man? Oh, the controls for this suck.
That's a 14-page fuck, which is why I spent 14 pages establishing we were in the 14 pages of writing. In all 14 pages that I wrote, I fucked the Loch Ness Monster, as I again established so heavily in that 14-page document.
He tried downplaying while simultaneously doubled down on his shitty date rape analogy. By the way, that's a tactic he'll be using a lot throughout this video, so be prepared for that. Where he doesn't refute this analogy, right? But he says, oh, but it's only a small part of the meticulously written 14 pages.
In order to poison you against a 14-page meticulously written document. It's 14 pages!
Despite it being alluded to multiple times throughout the document, this glorious crash out is still quoted to this day. Mwah, it's beautiful. And his reactions to people like Ethan Klein, who did commentary on this video, were about as sane as you'd expect.
How sick of an individual you have to be to do something like this? Like, if he was using it in some wholesome way, or shouting me out in some positive way, fine, but he's just using it to mock me. As I said here, it's sad that Ethan Klein's announcement of taking an indefinite break from H3H3 was clickbait. As someone who has been incessantly harassed by him for years in front of thousands, he is one of those truly deserving of being driven off the internet. A bully beloved by bullies. It would be different if this was a wholesome meme.
A bully beloved by bullies. Yeah, he is a pea in a pod with fucking iDubbbz, the harassment podcast.
As we try and use it, but Ethan and his fans clearly do not use or see it that way. In general, Ethan has never understood the difference between jokes and mockery. He views insults as jokes because he finds joy in hurting others. A part of the
jokes and mockery can be one and the same. And you, sir, are worthy of mockery.
reason why I was more accepting of the
Did you ever seen like a roast on Comedy Central? It can be done in a friendly manner. You can mock someone and that can be the joke.
14 pages meme is because I tried to emotionally, or even in the public eye, claim back this meme from Ethan. And he's using it as a way to mock me and attack me.
He also has this gay habit of including featuring ex-YouTuber in the title of videos that he's responding to, despite the video obviously not being a collaboration. And the final major point I'll bring up is why I've been careful to show clips of Dark Viper, which is his abuse of the DMCA system. To summarize,
There it is. All right, good. He didn't miss it.
in a 40-minute VOD, commentary streamer and Gawk lover Chud Logic was covering a 10-minute video made by Dark Viper AU, where he was going after Jack's films on some...
And this is why I have a plan for the next time we need to react to something, or anyone might. Dark Viper does something that people might need to react to. I have a plan to help them react to it without having to worry about getting Chud Logicked.
gay rant about reaction content again. Dark Viper's claim was that because Chud reacted to the entire video, it infringed on his copyright. Dark Viper then hired a lawyer because he couldn't figure out YouTube's DMCA system, who then took half a year to finally strike down Chud's video, which was later restored by YouTube. To be clear, in my opinion, and as well as many others,
A massive waste of money simply because he didn't understand DMCA.
Chud's video was transformative and could have stood on its own against Dark Viper's, protecting it under the fair use doctrine. Nobody looking for Dark Viper's content is going to head over to the Chud Logic stream to watch it there. That's just not going to happen. He's also abused the DMCA system on other platforms to hide clips of him raging and one clip of him pulling an iDubbbz.
Bullshit. Wait. I said it with an A.
Man, those two sure do have a lot in common. Now that we've established that Dark Viper is a baby with some very questionable takes when it comes to content, where does the empathy come?
Hey, I wonder if iDubbbz would let Dark Viper fuck his wife while he watches. And then Dark Viper can fight the virgin claims. You know, he'll be helping him out, and iDubbbz will get something out of it. Everybody will win. Well, I mean, except Anissa. I guess she has to sleep with Dark Viper. Except Dark Viper. I mean, he has to sleep with Anissa. Oh, God. No, they all deserve each other. This is a good plan. I stand by it.
Well, other than a recent situation that this video was leading up to, he likes to throw around the word whenever convenient. However, in practice, I really haven't seen this empathy. What I have seen is him clickbaiting people, saying his ex-friend lied about his dad's cancer, which obviously never happened. Although, I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself. To his credit, he doesn't
one thing at a time, man.
Weaponize the term nearly as much as Ian. Speaking of, let's take a break from Dark Viper and check back in on our old pal Ian.
Every time I go outside, I look like I've been doing math.
Before we move on to our central topic, I want to take a brief moment to look at Ian's empathy in action. His original description was a bit vague, so let's try to understand him a little better. As I went over in my first content cop, we saw his empathy in action as he made a hit piece on his best friend of nearly a decade, in which he had a half-hearted attempt at empathy thrown in the end because the guy who rates apology videos told him to add it. But we've already covered that ground. Let's take a look at some very recent examples of his empathy principles.
This is something that people get confused about. Empathy, you don't direct it at everything, right? You get a little bit lost if you're empathetic about anything and everything, right?
What? People get confused. No, that was you who implied that. Don't get it twisted, all right?
I just can't help myself but feel for other people's pain and suffering now.
That's why people criticize you every time your little empathy meter misfires.
If you don't have any empathy to give, there's nothing to give. What are you going to do? You can't always do that. So, yeah, it doesn't mean that you can't try, though, sometimes. I try sometimes, even...
God, he is struggling to find a way to explain why he doesn't have empathy for Ethan, but he has empathy for everyone else. God damn it.
When I'm watching this fucking stupid podcast.
Look at him rub his little brain just to muster that sentence out. Oh my goodness. The more I watch Ian, the more it becomes extremely apparent that he either doesn't understand empathy or he just uses the term performatively. I personally...
It's very much performatively.
Believe the latter. Why? Well, he kind of let the cat out of the bag. Not everyone will have empathy for everything. In situations that they can't relate to or just don't understand. I agree, and it's true. But then, he, in my opinion...
That's where sympathy comes in, which he apparently hasn't learned yet. He's learned empathy, but not sympathy, guys.
attempts to backpedal on that statement by saying, well, you should always try. The reason he does that, of course, is to keep the performance going. Need I remind you all of the time that he performatively added the clip of him crying about, oh, how much he empathized with Ethan and Hila at the end of his hit piece about them? Now, let's be charitable and say it's not performative. If only I could get a clip of him actually exercising this empathy. Maybe then we'll have a clear understanding.
He's claiming that they were paid to come smear him on the show.
So this is a great moment where I am able to exercise empathy, right? Let's pay attention to how it works. It's totally possible that my boxing coach, my disgraced boxing coach, just wanted to come on and talk shit. And he had no expectation of receiving any money. But he did receive money. And that was in the live stream.
But that doesn't mean that that's why he went there. You can get a surprise thing. It doesn't mean you went there for that thing. You know, guys in the shower in prison, they didn't go to the shower for sex, but, you know, sometimes it just happens to you. You got sex. So they should be happy about that, I guess? Oh, no, that means that they did it on purpose. Holy shit, I'm underwater.
Happened simultaneously, basically. They can, you know, fucking squabble over, well, they came on and then we paid them. They had no idea. Here's proof they had no idea. They were paid. That's the fucking point. Getting paid is the point. It's not the order in which things happened.
No, the order's important.
So empathy is lying that your boxing coach was paid to smear you on a podcast, then lying about the fact that you said that in order to make an entirely different point as if you never said that they were paid to go on the podcast.
They already spilled their guts. They were getting paid like $5,000 to go on this podcast.
I'm going to be sending you guys $5,000.
No, they were not. They were promised a bonus that you did not pay, so he paid it for you during the show. It was during the show. They were not getting paid to go on the show, you fucking liar.
That's like when people go on Oprah. They don't go on Oprah to get a free car. But as part of the show, you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. And everyone's surprised, and they get all excited. Yeah, it's a surprise. It's a bonus. That thing you promised.
I'm not seeing it. What it looks like to me is you being a malicious snake, not an empath. But hey, I'm 21, not 32. Maybe I'm just not getting it yet. Hila, if you're watching, can you send me a Teddy Fresh hat? I'm a cat collector. I want a Teddy Fresh hat. DM me. I want a Teddy Fresh hat. So he's a performative empath. I believe he has empathy.
This is a straight up recreation of the first level from Sonic. That is dope.
However, I also believe that he uses the term to virtue signal towards people's morals whenever convenient. I think he's a selfish empath, which is kind of gay. I'm gonna be real, this has nothing to do with the video, but I just wanted to point out how funny and empathetic it is that Anissa would jump in front of a train to defend Hassan from sending the might of Zeus to his dog for moving an inch, but was unwilling to defend Ethan and Hila from the allegations that their dogs were shitting all over the floor and giving their kids diseases. One of those claims has a lot more proof than the other.
Please just fucking go, just stop.
Because, you know...
Yeah, you have video evidence of what happened to the dog. You have no evidence that there's poop in Ethan's bath all over Ethan's house from his kids, from his, you know, from his dog that his kids are eating. But let's call CPS on him anyway.
It's fine if CPS gets called on my best friends of nearly 10 years, but God forbid people think that Hassan shocked his dog.
Like, it's so obvious what's happening here. I can't believe that people still, like, support them. They're fucking disgusting, dude.
Even though it clearly looks like he did.
No, it wasn't confirmed Hill Kid. There's no... It was confirmed that it was a fucking vibration collar. Or that the dog had a vibration collar. Not even that he used it. That's just what the dog has.
That was not confirmed, by the way.
If I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids, Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever the fucking the prompt is.
The only person who would care is me, because I'm like, why did I tweet this out? I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lapdog.
Oh, well, I guess they are Hassan's lapdog after all. We have official confirmation. Not that we really needed it.
Owned.
So now that we've introduced our two empaths,
I mean, by his own logic.
Allow me to explain the conflict here. I'm personally of the belief that people should stay consistent with what they preach into your face. If
Hassan has conditioned his fans to believe opposing opinions are liars. They're dumb enough to believe anything he says. Look, the majority of Hassan's fans are middle-aged women fucking sitting at home with their box of wine, flicking their bean to this guy who they think is still young, but is probably the same age as them. They're simps. He has a lot of simps. That's probably the majority of his audience. That or, like, younger progressive people who are also, you know, jerking their rod or flicking their bean to him. He's just male denims.
If you're gonna say your old offensive content is bad, disavow your old fan base, and claim to have gained so much empathy that you don't know what to do with, you can't then go on to do the same exact thing with a different coat of paint. This concept was heavily gone over in my first two videos on iDubbbz, where we talked about his conflict with H3, and my point still stands. The same way Ian's empathy didn't extend to Tana in 2017, it doesn't extend to Ethan and Neela in 2025. Except, you know, the differences being the lack of good arguments, offensive language, and the addition of the empathy performance. What Ian is doing here...
Yeah, see, now he's learned empathy and he's still not using it. Back during the Tana drama, he hadn't learned empathy yet. That was the excuse then.
Is what many call safe edgy, where instead of maybe calling someone an artard, you diagnose them with a mental illness. It should be just as derogatory.
Concern trolling.
By their definition. Ian understood this in his Tana content cop, but now it seems to have been replaced by a CTE. A recent example of this would be Ian's latest video where he calls himself stoic and then immediately kills it by bitching about people and attacking people who make fun of him and his weird wife. In this video, he targets, or as I like to say, promotes, several creators including the Kino Casino. Now, the Kino Casino is heavily associated with the Kiwi Farms, which is a gossip site, or in Anissa and husband's case, the opposite of the H3 snark. Ian has made his opinion on the farms very apparent in that he is not fond.
Yeah, they're snark-brained. Everyone's snark-brained. Oh, this is a snark talking point. This is a snark thing. These freaks are on fucking Kiwi Farms and all these legitimate stalker websites. They are on them.
He attempts to...
Well, it's good to know that Kiwi Farms has some legitimacy behind it now. Jesus Christ, we need 20 points for that? Okay.
Makes this point in the video that online bullying is a problem and tries to call out one of the hosts of the Kino Casino, PPP, or Ashton, for saying that when you overshare online, people are going to make fun of you for it.
Because you shared it online?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's what people are going to do because they want to get a reaction out of you.
Yeah.
I don't think they probably even really believe the stuff that they're saying, but they know because it's extreme and, like, edgy that it will cause you mentally spiral like this, so that's why they do it.
Now, I'll say it, it's good advice, but Ethan's point totally ignores that advice. Instead, he's upset with Ashton's semantics for using the word people, because Ashton has made some of the jokes himself.
He's literally bullied and made fun of her dad who has Alzheimer's.
With a late-stage dementia patient.
He's got Alzheimer's. He wants Ashton to acknowledge that he's part of the problem.
Something that he's very familiar with. But for some reason, in this moment, he refuses to take any ownership of the fact that he is part of the problem. It makes you wonder why. And we get a little window into that at the end of the clip.
This is how the internet works. It shouldn't be, but that's how it is.
Hey, Simple Ian, just so you're...
Yeah, nothing he said was wrong.
...aware, the internet is an all-encompassing term which would include him, so he technically did take accountability. Later on stream, he relays the same message to Ethan, that Ethan's also part of the problem. So it's very clear based on these clips that he's not fond of gossip sites and really wants accountability for the people who are bullying him. But of course, that accountability does not extend to himself, as in the video, he throws a ton of jabs and insults towards the people that he's covering.
I am quiet, stoic, freaks, this stupid fucking loser and his dumb as rocks wife, absolute fucking creep weirdo. These fucking losers, the fat one and his cohort.
And in a recent stream, here he is shouting at the...
And there's that lack of empathy.
...the current H3 Snark subreddit, who not only slanders and harasses Ethan and Neela, but anyone who speaks positively of the pair.
And we are on the Leftovers subreddit. Shout out Leftovers.
That's where they all went? That's... Oh my god. Why does it do that? Ugh.
Didn't Anissa also go after Ethan for his Tourette's tics, saying that he was on drugs? Wasn't that a thing? Well, in terms of hypocrites, you talk about them. A lot of people do. I've never seen ones bigger than Ian and Anissa. iDubbbz very big hypocrites. It's truly sad. I've never seen bigger hypocrites in my... Now, if you want my personal opinion, I don't care how edgy any of these people want to be. But you can't be inconsistent about it. Otherwise, you're either a hypocrite or a bigot. Or in Ian's case, you're both. Also, for context, this was Ashton's response.
Monetizing your own father's illness. No one needs to know about your father's illness. Leave your family members, their issues, their problems, their illnesses in your private life, and it will stay private. I'll say this too. You, because they're gonna.
If you're sensitive about it, don't put it on the internet. It's not hard to understand.
Play these clips of me like dunking on Ian, you know, having to live with the father that has dementia or whatever. I'm not doing that to dunk on the father. I'm doing that to dunk on you and Anissa. And by the way, Anissa's father will never ever see Kino Casino, and if he does, he'll forget it very quickly.
Okay.
True. Solid joke.
I feel that alone demonstrates my point, but we're not done yet, and it'll get a lot darker as we continue. But first, I need to take a little trip to a land down under. It's time for a viper hunt. Crikey, mate. We're out in the hot down under. We're looking for a viper, a dark viper to be exact. He's a slippery little snake, mate. Approaching the jungle down under, that's where we are. I had to leave my crew behind because it's a very dangerous mission, but all we know is that he likes 14 pages, so wish me luck, mate.
Did you bring enough pages to catch the viper?
Alright, mate. Christ.
This is a solid bit, by the way.
Been out here for a while looking for the viper. Oh, a squirrel just fucking fell. You gotta find the 14 pages. It's a key sign. Finding the viper. Stinky little bugger. Crikey. What's that over there? Oh, crikey. Oh my goodness. Yeah, mate, this is the viper. 2.
He's got 14 pages. Alright, this is a solid bit. This is solid. I approve. You're winning me back over, Cameron.
6. 8. I'm getting scared, mate. 12. 14. What does it mean? What does it mean? Oh, blooming bloody hell, mate. Blooming bloody hell, mate.
Where's Ozzy? I need to know. I need to know how good this accent impersonation is. Like, is this offensive or not?
I've never been this mad at a person in the entirety of my life. It's 14 pages.
I have a confession to make. A brave take that even the strongest of men could never say. A take that even has Jesus a little shocked. I don't like politics. I know, right?
Wow. Well, you're not alone.
Real shocking. But seriously,
It's so hard to enjoy drama and avoid politics at the same time.
I wanted to get into why myself and many others are just really turned off by it. Trust me, it is relevant to the video. Growing up, I was always really fascinated by history. I mean, I grew up in Appalachia, so any Virginian knows you can't really escape it. So naturally, when I got older, I grew interested in politics. But by the time I reached adulthood, that interest quickly faded. It's gotten to the point where I'll inform myself whenever I need to vote and actively avoid...
Yeah, that's kind of what I do. Okay, we're on the same page here.
It otherwise, unless I absolutely need to for a video. And there's a very simple reason for why that is, and I think many people can relate.
Because it's brain rot.
With the rise of social media, the political landscape has become a war zone of hell. Many people are now more radicalized into their positions and are secluded into their own echo chamber of their ideas because the algorithms are designed to feed them what they like. With that, very simple disagreements on issues become friendship-ruining battles for some people. There are a lot of people who believe that someone's political take dictates their humanity. To me, that's horrifying, and it's turned me off from politics.
So fast.
And on top of that, I'm a content creator, okay? My job is to make entertaining content. That's it. I'm not a pundit. I'm not a political analyst. I'm a dumbass. And I don't give my political opinions for that reason. And if you expect anything else out of me, that's hilarious and you're not getting it. Like, do you really need your take on fucking immigration or climate change to be validated by the dumbass who runs in the bushes for content? Are you that insecure in your beliefs?
True. I find it so cringe when they constantly ask, like, all these content creators and fucking... I covered this a little bit in the fucking Tilly Norwood segment, where it's like, you guys like beg and beg and beg for not just content creators, but they'll do it with celebrities too. Like, you guys will beg and beg and beg for their take on something, and then hate their take and want to cancel them for it. Like, motherfucker, you asked for his opinion. What did you really think Shazam was gonna have an awesome opinion on politics? Yeah, Shazam's a Trump guy. Shocker. The white rich guy from the South is a Trump guy? I never would have thunk it. Can you not just enjoy Shazam and then ignore him when he's not Shazam?
Occasion that politics do come up on this channel, it's because it's tied to a situation I'm covering and I've unwillingly had to learn about it. Anywho, that's my rant. Back to the video.
Okay. All right, ready to do your right-wing grift. He's got the setup. That's all you need right there. That is the background for every wannabe right-wing grifter. He's got the starter kit, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, so my next subject is about the Charlie Kirk situation from last month that 99.9% of you are probably aware of. Who can
You probably could have avoided this topic, but let's see how he handles it.
Forget the autism announcement at the funeral. Nevertheless, I'd like to provide the context and share my perspective, as the internet is quick to forget. As a quick aside, I'll be the first to tell you that there are several things I disagreed with Charlie Kirk on. I've also criticized him and his format several times on stream. However, that does not justify what happened. So to recap, on September 10th, 2025, at Utah Valley University, conservative influencer Charlie Kirk hosted...
I have no idea why he's getting into this in the middle of his content cop drama video. Like, this topic probably should have been avoided. It feels a little out of place here.
His first event of his American Comeback Tour. At these events, he would often debate audience members, primarily college students, who disagreed with him. These debates were part of his Prove Me Wrong debate series, and this event was his first of many planned tour stops. Around 3,000 people attended the event, crowded around the amphitheater where Charlie was speaking. The crowd primarily consisted of college students aged 18 through 24. Others in attendance included younger teenagers along with their parents, faculty, and other off-campus individuals. It is also rumored that Charlie's wife Erica and their two children, a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, were also in attendance.
They were not. That was later confirmed. See, you didn't even do your research before doing it, because enough time has passed that you could just not talk about this, because it turns out they were not there. That was confirmed. God damn it.
Things seemed to be going to plan. However, as many of you know, things quickly took a dark turn. At around 12:23 p.m. Mountain Time, while Charlie was debating the second speaker, a single shot was fired from the rooftop of a nearby building, striking Charlie in the neck. Due to the bullet likely hitting his jugular vein, an intense fountain of blood quickly poured from...
Hit an artery, not a vein. Jesus. Yeah, you sound like you did no research for this. I don't know why this is in the video.
Charlie's neck, as his muscles tensed up before quickly collapsing.
Like, you needed to be on point if you were going to cover this at all.
Onto the ground.
Which, again, I see no reason why you need to cover this in your drama video.
As the crowd ducked in fear, Charlie was rushed to the hospital while the news rapidly spread online. Graphic videos of the shooting spread on the internet like wildfire, leaving even the most desensitized to graphic content feeling sick and in shock. Meanwhile, in the hospital, after multiple procedures, including emergency surgery to save his life, Charlie Kirk was pronounced dead. President Trump announced his death on Truth Social, but the truth of the matter is, Charlie Kirk was likely dead before his body hit the ground after being shot.
He wasn't. He died an hour later in the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. They tried their best to save him. See, he did like, I did no research, and I just got what showed up in my Twitter feed and saw people arguing about it and read it, and I know more than he does. You really shouldn't have covered this topic if you're going to do just not even surface level research on it. Come on, Cameron.
To put it mildly, the country was in shock. I'll speak for myself and say I was even pretty shook up by this. My entire day just stopped and I felt physically ill after seeing the graphic videos of the assassination. Prominent figures in the political space were quick to condemn the violence. Other conservative figures were in pain and other polarizing figures were in fear. However, there were also a good chunk of people who were very happy about the news, cheering, dancing, and raving over the murder of a 31-year-old father.
Yeah, this is just derailed into, yeah, like, I don't know why you even started this political thing into it. Are you going to tie this back to empathy? I have a feeling you're going to bring up the Charlie Kirk empathy sympathy statement. But the whole purpose in a content cop is to call out creators for their behavior so that they change their behavior. Charlie Kirk's not here to change his behavior. Like, there's no reason to have this here. There's just none.
To make this very clear, you don't have to like Charlie Kirk. You don't have to agree with or like what he believed. You don't even have to care that he died. You're free to feel how you want, and I won't stop you, judge you, or chastise you for feeling that way. But I will say I think that celebrating or justifying the assassination is disgusting. Pause. Why am I telling you this? Why?
Yes, why is this here?
Is the content cop moral flagging? Well, it ties into our key topics today: empathy and the freedom of speech. Let me explain. I think you should be able to joke about or say whatever you want within reason. Now, I'm no free speech absolutist. That historically has led to degeneracy. I'm looking at you, YMS. However, when it comes to jokes, I think
somebody's been watching Nicholas DeOrio streams again.
Everyone has the freedom to have some dark humor. With that said, you also can't be a pussy about it and try to moralize it or hide behind a virtue signal. Because those who hear the joke are free to criticize you for it and feel disgusted. So don't try to shield yourself from criticism with moral arguments if you're gonna claim dark humor. That's what makes the First Amendment beautiful. It's the checks and balances of freedom of speech within the human condition. Same thing goes with political debate. People have the right to safely express their ideas and get scrutinized for it. This should have happened with Charlie, but that's not what happened. So when people have certain stated principles or morals that they disregard all in the name of dark humor or the virtue signal, I'm free to call it out, which is exactly what I'm going to take a shot at doing. I need to change my vocabulary, which is exactly what I'm going to do today. A little over 5 hours after the death of Charlie Kirk was announced, while, you know, the body was still warm, Dark Viper AU took to Twitter to give his hot take on the whole situation.
Okay, so that's why. You really didn't have to give all that backstory. You could have just gone right into it. You could have cut that entire segment, gone right to this, and the point would have got across. I promise you there's nobody who doesn't already know about Charlie Kirk. Like, you didn't need to... You could just say that you believe in free speech and blah, blah. Like, you could have wrapped that into this and not going on the whole, like, backstory on Charlie Kirk. But I see why, because he's bringing up the Dark Viper comment he made, which, God, I got a whole segment for that, because I found all of the videos that got deleted and stuff. I need to make a segment on that and cover it, because Dark Viper was kind of in the wrong on this one. Explaining Charlie Kirk was unnecessary, very unnecessary. Dark Viper was kind of in the wrong on this one, but the other guy backing down kind of makes him look right. The other guy isn't much better than Dark Viper as far as the autistic lines of argumentation and stuff go, but I'll just do a segment on it. It's hard to explain without... Maybe he'll get into it here, but... No. All right, well, let's just see where he goes with it.
Situation saying, "It is morbidly ironic that the best way to honor a man who said empathy is bad and gun deaths a necessary cost is to feel nothing at his death. Empathy would betray his philosophy that we ought to show a brutal disregard for the well-being of anyone unlike ourselves." I'm glad you chimed in. Everyone knows that...
Okay, so that's not the tweet I thought he was going to read, because that's not the one that the other guy made videos on where he starts screaming about why are you lying. Maybe he couldn't find those videos because they were kind of deleted. It took me a while to find them.
Australian GTA speedrunners, who are also giant crybabies online, are the best source for American political analysis. Look, there are multiple things wrong with this post. First of all, Dark Viper would be the first person to flip his shit if a dark joke was made at the expense of himself. In fact, he actually does that with the 14 pages meme.
I don't think Ethan is a very good person, and his using a soundbite of one of the most traumatic, angry moments of my entire life for many, many years on his stream, perhaps 100 times, is a bit more than excessive and very sick.
The most traumatic.
It's 14 pages!
14 pages of rules for life.
It's 14 pages. Meticulously.
Yeah, we're kind of covering this a second time. Kind of going back and forth on this. Like, did you cover this in the beginning? I don't know. This is weirdly formatted at this point.
Argue document.
Not that it's not funny to still see the 14 pages meme, but it's just kind of weird to cover this, to kind of do the montage a second time.
Second of all, the overall sentiment contradicts itself, especially considering his constant virtue signaling, which he quickly continues after this post. But before I get into my other problems with Dark Viper's argument here, the last thing I'll mention now is that he quotes Charlie's take on empathy out of context.
The new communication strategy is not to do what Bill Clinton used to do, where he would say, I feel your pain. Instead, it is to say, you're actually not in pain. So let's just, very short clip. Bill Clinton in the 1990s, it was all about empathy and sympathy. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage, but it is very effective when it comes to politics. Sympathy I prefer more than empathy. That's a separate topic for a different time. Here's cut 65. Bill Clinton talking about how I feel your pain. Listen to how he's talking. Listen to how he's trying to lean in to people's struggles and concerns.
So Charlie was critical of the term empathy and said that we should have sympathy. I personally disagree, and I think we should have both. This clip alone has me a little...
True. But he did kind of take him out of context. But that's not even like the tweet I thought that he was gonna do the thing on, because I thought he was gonna get into his beef with Cyberboy, which is the guy that he bullied off the internet into deleting all of his videos. The one he's freaking out, why will you not stop lying? Yeah, like, I'm going to cover all of those. But the tweet that he made was that, and the argument and why he's screaming that he lied is because the tweet that Dark Viper made was he said that Charlie Kirk reaps what he sowed, that you will reap what you sow. And everybody took that to mean that Dark Viper was saying that Charlie Kirk deserved to die. And then he went on that autistic line of argumentation by saying, no, I didn't say that. What I said was that he reaped what he sowed. And then that's where he's screaming at the guy for lying on him, because the guy is saying, you said that Charlie Kirk deserved to die, which I would say Cyberboy's kind of right. No, he didn't say it in those exact words, but do we really need to be autistic about this? You said he reaped what he sowed. What does that mean? If it doesn't mean that you think he deserves to die, then what does it mean? What exactly is he reaping then? What do you mean by that? Like, how can anyone take that any other way? I don't understand. Explain it to me. And that's what Cyberboy fails to do. He never tells him to explain what he meant by that. Because, okay, fine. If I've misinterpreted what you've said, then clarify for me. Make him clarify. And no one ever does. And it's so fucking frustrating.
Mixed. However, shortly after that quote, he criticizes politicians for not having empathy towards citizens.
Of why are Democrats now not even acknowledging things are difficult? So let's go to this tape. Cut 49, Janet Yellen. I think the United States is doing very well. So people are in pain. They can't pay for bills. They can't pay for groceries. They can't pay for gas. And Democrats could at least say, we feel it. We're going to figure it out. We're going to try to, come to common ground. No, instead it is, actually things are great.
I actually had no idea about that until researching for this video. So saying Charlie said...
So you did do research for this video. And how'd you get the Charlie Kirk section so wrong?
He thought feeling empathy is bad is inaccurate based on the source. But 30 minutes after that tweet, he followed up with, I believe empathy matters, and gun violence is never a worthy sacrifice. It's tragic that Charlie Kirk rejected those values in life. Against his passionate wishes, we should see his death as unjust and commit ourselves to reducing the very harm he worked to spread in life. That's not even a virtue signal. That's a fucking virtue terrorist attack. Good God. So he does this classic backpedal but double down maneuver, where he ignores the fact that he originally said that we should feel nothing at his death, now adding this new sentiment that we should be the bigger people and show some empathy, while also doubling down on his empathy lie. That sentiment was short-lived in true Dark Viper fashion, as not even 3 hours later he keeps going on and on and on. If you care, pause the video because I ain't reading all these out, but the general sentiment of these posts are his feelings of how horrible of a person Charlie was, how much he hated Charlie. Occasionally he'll throw in the reply of how the murder was unjust, after of course reiterating how horrible of a person he saw Charlie to be. And just to be super duper clear and dispel a lie by this person, no, Dark Viper never claimed that Charlie's murder was justified. What he did do is make a shitty argument with very
So you didn't see the tweet where he said he reaped what he sowed? Because he tried to delete that tweet, but it exists. I don't know how you can take that in any other way. I mean, I guess technically he didn't say it in those exact words, but I hate the arguments on technicality that these autistic fucks do. Like, context matters. We can read between the lines. Like, interpretation matters. You have to... Normal people say stuff and understand how it might sound when you say that.
Cringy moral reasoning at a very bad time. And regardless of if Dark Viper's claims about Charlie Kirk are right or wrong, the shit he is doing contradicts his empathy virtue signal, which is what I am criticizing. And it also contradicts this...
You went a roundabout way to get there.
Statement he made 12 days prior to Charlie's assassination. What does he actually feel? Well, we're about to get a new take from him thanks to Jeremy from the Quartering. That name might trigger a Winter Soldier moment for some audience members because Jeremy might be even more pathetic than Dark Viper. I welcome you all to do your own research on him, but basically the Quartering's a shitty right-wing grifter lolcow. To summarize why he's relevant today, after Charlie's death, Jeremy just fucking snapped, and basically when Jeremy saw the tweets from Dark Viper, he just went fucking insane. Jeremy was on a mass campaign to get everyone who joked about Charlie Kirk canceled, including Dark Viper, who ended up receiving death threats. And to that I say, Dark Viper, you don't deserve death threats, harassment, doxing, etc. That's deplorable and wrong. But I feel it's only ironic that you reap what you sow. Again,
So you did read that tweet. So you do know what that means. Don't do this Fence City bullshit where you say, no, he didn't say that Charlie Kirk deserved to die. And then bring up the reap what you sow tweet to say that he deserves the things that he... Oh, come on, Cameron, dude.
It's fine to hate Charlie Kirk's politics, but it's just probably not the best idea to shit on his corpse before it's cold while half the nation is mourning his death and then complaining about the consequences. That said, Jeremy is a fucking whiny idiot who should log off the internet forever. In his video response to Jeremy, he defends his use of dark jokes, which implies that his statements are jokes, which also implies a level of insincerity.
A political commentator that I don't particularly like in America has died. Not something I'm getting comments on. I don't really make those political statements on Twitter anymore. But
and he did anyway.
I saw a commentary on his stances and I was like, oh, that's actually morbidly ironic. Given that they were posts with hundreds of thousands of likes, I was like, oh, well, I guess, you know.
You didn't say morbidly ironic. You said you reap what you sow. Now, I'll admit, you probably didn't mean that you think Charlie Kirk deserves to die. That's probably not the way you meant it, but it was a poor choice of words. And you just need to own it. You just need to own those and explain what you meant, or say, sorry, I misspoke. I didn't mean it that way. I'm sorry, dude, but there's no other way to interpret what you said when you said that you reap what you sow. And then he does this, oh, I'll just delete it and try to pretend like it didn't happen bullshit.
The conversation about this is kind of over anyway. If something's getting hundreds of thousands of likes, it must have been talked about for quite a while at this point. I mean, whatever my contribution, who would focus on what I would say amongst these posts that have like 500,000 likes? Surely not some clout goblin, war-desiring person named Jeremy. I am, however, a person who likes dark jokes. If you've ever seen one of my out-of-context videos, I make a lot of dark jokes.
He then pulls a wild card on us by playing a 2-minute compilation of said dark jokes, in which half of them are just jokes about him liking kids.
But Your Honor, she was almost 16. Sir, she's 13 and a half. That's almost 16.
He then goes on to explain how it's morbidly ironic how Charlie Kirk died in a school shooting given his previous takes against gun control.
And Charlie Kirk, a person who openly said that deaths from gun violence are necessary for Americans to have the rights that they do, and further a person who downplayed the significance of school shootings every chance he got, died in a school shooting. I, like half the
shot at a school. I would call it a school shooting. But yeah, it does sound like now he's trying to explain what he meant by reap what you sow, but the more he tries to explain it, the more it sounds like, yeah, that's the way you meant it. It sounds like you're saying Charlie Kirk deserved what he got. Like the more you try to explain it, the more that's what it sounds like.
Planet observed that is morbidly ironic.
Which I have to say, if you know anything about American proposed gun laws, you know how fucking dumb this statement is. The gun used to kill Charlie Kirk was a Mauser bolt-action rifle, a rifle commonly used for hunting. Most proposed gun laws in the US look to ban automatic weapons or assault weapons. So even if Charlie Kirk wasn't against...
Well, he's in Australia, and in Australia they have very different takes on guns. They just took all their guns away after one school shooting, so I'll give him somewhat of a pass for not understanding the nuances there.
Gun control, which somehow caused all the assault weapons and all the automatic weapons to vanish in thin air, he still would have been killed because the gun used would have been unaffected. Dark Viper should know this well if he wants to talk about irony, because that rifle is legal in Australia, the nation known for—
Oh, never mind.
—for its strict gun laws.
To be clear, I was not insincere in anything that I wrote. I believe everything that I wrote, but my goal was to simply point out that in tragedy, there can be some dark humor.
Wait, so it wasn't a joke. It was sincere the whole time. Whatever, I won't play the semantics game.
I was sincere about my joke. Yeah, well, the semantics game is all that Dark Viper knows how to play, because that's how those autistic line of argumentations go, which is why they're so goddamn exhausting.
I guess morbidly ironic, whatever. I'll look past it this time. I assume he meant to say humor originally instead of joke.
I'm sorry if you don't like dark humor, but while death itself is—
But personally, I wouldn't give him that charitability. Because if you misspoke, he would take you literally and not give you that charitability.
It's not funny. Circumstances around a death—
I'm going to hold him to his own standard.
Can be.
I have no problem with that sentiment. I do think his take is kind of dumb, where it's like, look guys, 800k people like this post joking about the death. That means I can give my take without any criticism. It's like, no dude, you could still be criticized, because like, guess what? Damn near 80 million people voted for this guy. Does that mean he's immune to criticism? Fuck no.
It was only after people didn't understand this that I felt I had to continue to clarify. Consider my surprise when I found out that half the planet doesn't know what the word morbid means. That is to say, grim, tragic, and disturbing. Seemingly missing the point entirely, that I was just making a dark observation without much point.
Ah, yes. The best humor needs to be clarified. My issue here is he's using his one instance of morbid irony to push back against everyone criticizing him for his ill-timed opinions and just being a giant pussy about it. Meanwhile, hiding behind the humor and the irony that he whines about whenever it's used against him.
The most traumatic.
A few days after—
I was going to say something, but then I thought better of it.
After this, Dark Viper went on a full meltdown, screaming at a much smaller channel, telling him to delete all the videos he made criticizing.
There we go. There's the cyberboy stuff. There we go. That's where I was trying to land.
Yeah.
Why can you not stop lying? Please stop lying! What is wrong with you? Like, every single thing in this fucking video, your newest video, is a lie! All I said, I just want you to acknowledge what you did and apologize! I spent 4 days of my life trying to get you to do that! And at every fucking turn, you said, no, fuck you! You just wouldn't even acknowledge what I want.
Because you wouldn't acknowledge that your words have meanings. Okay, your words have a meaning. Saying you reap what you sow can only be taken one way. And he took it the way you said it. And he just wanted you to own that or apologize for it. And you would do neither of those two things. Instead, you bullied this poor kid off the fucking internet.
You apologize, even in this fucking video, you still would not acknowledge what I want.
And I have all the videos, by the way, and I am going to do a segment on them. I just need to, I have to do something for the Dark Viper part of the segment because I really don't want him to claim me. And I need to cover what he said in its entirety, so I have to prepare for that. So it's this is going to be my most edited video ever. I'm probably going to do it off stream because it's going to require editing and a lot of prep work, but it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. I have a plan for this.
What did you apologize for? 4 days! Anytime you wanted me, I helped you. And you just keep doing this. Why? You know, if you felt sorry, you delete these fucking videos full of lies.
Now, I don't really know the ins and outs of
Now, this crash out worked because he did end up deleting all of his videos. He didn't just delete his videos. When I say he bullied this kid off the internet, I mean he bullied him off the internet. This kid, he deleted his Twitter account. He deleted the videos. Like, he's just gone right now. And it sounds like Cameron's about to say that he doesn't know the ins and outs of it, which means he couldn't find those videos that were being referenced. But I did.
this situation. I do know that this kid's dad had cancer, and he apologized to Dark Viper for the way he made his initial video while still maintaining the criticism he gave Dark Viper in the video. The kid later posted a video about his suicidal ideation and how other people in the GTA community were pressuring him to make more videos about Dark Viper, which prompted Dark Viper's meltdown. And to be very clear, I'm not saying Dark Viper is responsible for this kid's mental state.
I mean, he was getting a lot of backlash for it, and rightfully so.
And I don't know and frankly don't care who is or
He might not be responsible for his mental state, but he definitely contributed to it.
isn't in the right. I just think it's incredibly shitty of Dark Viper to constantly scream and whine and play victim against critics while he can be as aggressive as he wants without anyone being allowed to respond.
True.
A, I don't like the guy, but empathy matters. Gun violence ain't the answer to anything, and Charlie Kirk's death was clearly unjust.
Charlie Kirk's dead? Ha 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 ha. He deserved it. Right, Dark Viper? Big tough guy.
It's so tiresome to hear both.
Yeah, that's how everyone took it. If even the quartering can properly read that, then you've misspoke.
Of these idiots. Jeremy is blatantly misrepresenting Dark Viper by claiming he...
Nah, not so much, dude. If he said he reaped what he sowed, like... Cameron, you're gonna have to tell me what it means. Stop doing this fence-sitting thing where you don't... He's scared that Dark Viper is gonna come after him if he says that if he agrees with any of them. If he agrees with Cyberboy or the Quartering or any of the other people who said that he said that. But honestly, yeah, you kinda did, dude. You kinda did. You just said it with extra steps.
He explicitly said that Charlie Kirk deserved to die. Meanwhile, Dark Viper...
No, he didn't explicitly say it, but he did say it. He said it with extra steps. I'll do the Rick and Morty one. Yeah, he said it with extra steps.
is trying to morally grandstand about empathy after telling everyone to feel nothing at Kirk's death.
As time went on though, I became more and more annoyed at people's moral posturing. This is something, if you know me at all, is something that I'm always annoyed about. I hate performative activism or people lying about their beliefs or pretending that they believe something just because they think it'll be popular. I hate that shit. People were unironically saying that they are universally outraged and saddened by any untimely death, and are equally saddened and outraged by any celebration of it.
Some people probably are.
Focus on and mourn the deaths of those they care more about. People who more align with their political interests, and they downplay deaths of people that they don't care as much about, or who didn't align with their interests.
This is the funniest part of the video for me. Like, he's basically making my point for me, but he's just too blind, as always, to see how big of a fucking bumbling hypocrite he is. Yeah, dude, a lot of people in this space are mourning. A lot of people who agreed with his politics are mourning.
Yeah, a lot of people lash out when they're mourning or when something crazy happens, and not everyone in the world is going to be consistent all the fucking time. Sometimes they speak out of emotion and just say shit that they don't mean. You know, kind of like you did with your tweet.
Some people see he had a wife and kids and feel empathy over it. So maybe instead of shitting on the guy while virtue signaling your beliefs before the body is cold, you can shut the fuck up. He then shows this dog shit tweet on screen while he's arguing the exact opposite thing. He's saying, oh my god, I'm losing brain cells. I don't know if I can do this. Maybe checking in on Ian will help me out a bit. Let's see what Mr. Empathy has to say.
Yeah, the whole thing is just sick. Yes, to fuck a chow. That is the one take that I came across. Vanilla Mace. Vanilla Mace's comment on it, I was just like, yes, yes! Like, the fact that she had no amount of, like, she was not being, what's the word? Like, she wasn't trying to mince her, like, choose her words carefully or whatever. Like, she said exactly what, in my opinion, needs to be said.
Alright, great. Looks like we're gonna have to do some digging. Well, what did she say that's got old Anissa's husband over here creaming his pants? She uses copyrighted music throughout, so I can't play the audio, but basically, she explains that she got some backlash for reposting something that said that you can't...
You can use the YouTube tool for free. I do it, but it makes your video late going up. Basically, you have to post your video with the audio in it that you don't want to have to play in the video, but you still want to get the fucking words over top. YouTube... Because if you're not going to pay for a tool to do this, YouTube does have a built-in tool to erase a song from a video. It does make your voice sound a little weird. You can hear it in one of my videos, or during the opening for one of my videos. I can't remember which one. But there was music playing in the background. I didn't realize it because I had the game audio on and forgot to turn it off. But you can hit the erase song and it'll erase the music from the background, but still keep the vocals. The vocals will sound a bit muffled, but it works. What you can do is you can upload your video, set it to unlisted or private, and wait for YouTube to flag it. Then use YouTube's tool to remove that audio, download the video, and re-upload it so that, you know, it's not sitting there as unlisted and you miss your upload, so that it shows up in people's feeds. And then you won't have to worry about it getting flagged the second time. That's all you got to do.
Can't separate Charlie from his politics, which I assume had some further implications. Otherwise, I can't understand how that alone would get her backlash. She then goes on to say the Dark Viper take that he was arguing against simultaneously, which is, why does everyone care about this and not the school shootings that happen all the time? What about the children in Palestine also? Which is such a fucking non-argument. Guess what? All unjust death is bad, and naturally people are going to be louder about the things that they have a closer connection to. I think we can all acknowledge that violence against innocent people is bad. Sorry, am I being a little...
Oh, careful, careful. Tread lightly.
This is a brave take. Whew, gosh, intellectuals today, huh? Wait a second. But don't worry, Ian gave his own...
Yeah, she's got the haircut. That's also YMS's new haircut, by the way.
Own take not too long after this stream while he was reacting to a BreadTube video about Miss Rachel.
You're in the state that I feel like this woman is, and what I believe the state Charlie Kirk was in, is that you just haven't seen enough of the world, and you don't have to see more. You don't have to see people suffering. You know, like, you can very much choose to be in, you know, your super tight-knit, wealthy community, and so you never have to come to grips with, oh, I might have been wrong about this, or, ooh, this is a little bit more complicated than I thought it was.
Every single thing he says is laced. Damn. Every single thing he says is laced with so much irony, because you can apply the things he says about other people almost one for one to him in any drama involving Ethan.
He's always so quick to patronize people. And I don't think you're the guy to be telling people to live more life. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you spend most of your life living in the Californian suburbs with your parents and didn't move out until the whole YouTube thing went well for you? I don't know.
Yes, in a basement making videos on other people, which is why he was so late learning empathy.
Of spending most of your life in one place is living more life, okay? Charlie was 3 years younger than you, and his career was to go cross country and talk to people with different ideas. You can criticize his motivations, you can hate his ideas, but for the sake of this argument, clearly one of you was actively looking for different ideas, and it's not you. I don't know, man. Maybe if Charlie was sheltered, he'd still be around.
Yeah, it only got more that way with time, and I think that's one of the reasons I didn't really have any hope for this guy, like, turning over a new leaf. Like, maybe he could with time if he after he essentially won the presidential election for Trump and he was advocating for all these things and seeing how shit things are becoming, maybe.
Every time he brings up politics, you know you're about to get the worst take possible.
He could have had a come to Jesus moment. Yeah, he was getting paid to stay that way. That's true. It's hard because I definitely project a little bit in these cases, and I'm like, oh, he was interested in discovering things. He was just maybe mistaken. It's like, no, he got fucking worse and worse, and money doesn't make it any fucking better. And it's beyond that, right? He's trying to, like, preach this shit.
Am I detecting a hint of jealousy in his voice?
Before he knows how to wipe his own ass.
Word on the street, Ian, is that you still have not learned how to wipe your ass. That's word on the street.
Womp womp.
That's from the streets. I'm really from these streets. To me, this looks like Ian was empathetic towards Charlie, but his chat isn't. So he's actively trying not to be empathetic towards Charlie anymore. He went from, oh, maybe he could have come around to, nah, there was no saving him by reading chat. Ian, didn't you discover empathy at 32 saying, oh, with enough time and enough masturbation, anyone can discover empathy? You realize Charlie was murdered at 31? He wasn't given enough time, man. What are you talking about? You're saying that since Charlie was so politically involved at a young age, there was no saving him. Meanwhile, this is the type of stuff you were saying at age 25. And aren't you that N-word guy? Aren't you the N-word, F-word guy?
Yep, N-word F slur.
Guy. Remember that episode of South Park, that the N-word guy? I don't think you've apologized to Jesse Jackson enough, Ian. I think you still need to kiss his ass. I need a picture of that, and then maybe we can move forward. Before I show you guys the next clip, I'm actually going to show Ethan and Neela's reaction first, just so you guys can see the difference and see a little bit of what empathy actually looks like.
That's not how we enact change.
Up. He's Ethan Glazing. He's Ethan Glazing.
And so I wouldn't recommend watching the video, but for me, it.
Oh, damn, I missed that. Nope.
It's terrifying.
He's just gonna call this performative.
I feel like it's such a terrifying moment for everybody.
I mean, I feel like it's something that's easy for any content creator to empathize with, that you could, like, everyone's gonna have that, oh shit, this could be me moment, because every content creator realizes that one day they could go to a TwitchCon, or they could go out to, you know, do an event of their own, and Ethan's done those things. And yeah, you have this it could be me moment, which is where I'll give credit to Destiny, even though I'm not a fan of Destiny. He didn't cancel any of his live events after that. He's still out doing his live events now. So, you know, I'll credit where credit's due. He's got balls.
And to understand this is what we've come to.
All right, now back to Ian. Now this pattern continues throughout the stream until he finally says this.
Let me say, I'm not fucking crying over it. I fucking refuse to cry over that shit. And
so empathetic.
You know, I'm not judging anyone who's making jokes and shit, because obviously we don't want that in chat, TOS and all that, but it is a very fucking, like, it is serious shit. Like, when you start to see these Charlie Kirk quotes and what he was talking about, there are so many, there's like a new one every day. And it just gets more disgusting. And to be honest,
yeah, I mean, the guy said a lot of controversial shit. None of that justifies what happened to him, and it doesn't mean you can't still feel bad for it happening to him. I might not like the things you say, Ian. I might not like the things your wife says. I might not like the things Charlie Kirk said, or Ethan said, or even Hassan says. I might not like the things any of y'all say. But I will go to bat and defend your right to say them. If he's stoic, is he refusing to cry or unable to cry? I mean, if you're stoic, you can't cry, right? That's part of it.
Outcome is literally like what he describes in all of his debates. So I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. Woo! Justifying the outcome is kind of wild. I also love the sentiment.
I mean, you can call iDubbbz for doing it. And I get why. He can call iDubbbz for kind of justifying the outcome, but he won't call Dark Viper AU for what he said, because he's probably scared that Dark Viper AU will come after him or send his audience after him or not. I'm not scared of Dark Viper AU. If by some chance my video, when I make it, highlighting the videos that he wanted deleted so bad, and I'll put them up on my channel so that there'll be an active archive of them. If he wants to come after me, fine. If by some chance my video manages to get his attention. Sorry, dude, you said what you said. And you don't get to just pretend that you didn't say it because people called you on it. That ain't how this shit's gonna work.
Where he's been on this multi-year crusade against the edgy humor that he gained popularity from. But But now all of a sudden, he just doesn't care anymore. That's fine. But TOS. I just want some consistency, man. Even Hassan had a more human reaction than this. He keeps up that sentiment for the rest of the stream. You know, Christianity is bad. Charlie would have never found empathy, yada yada. But I think y'all get the idea. There are a lot more clips I could show you where Ian goes after Ethan for being upset with Hassan's camp criticizing him. The criticism in question Ethan is upset with, by the way, is the betrayal of his best friends, people calling CPS on his kids and sending him real-life human skulls, you know. Just, you know, some fucking harassment, death threats, you know. At least Ethan has an argument. Meanwhile, Ian can't see the obvious hypocrisy where he's constantly whining about people coming after him and his wife for being hypocritical ass.
Because he can't envision any reality where he's not the victim.
Assholes. Before I conclude, I think it's important that we take Ian's advice to go out to the world and hear people's perspective on things.
Oh god. He's getting better at the bits though, I'll give him that.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live! Fuck it! We'll do it live! Thank you for joining us this evening. Henry Handjob reporting live in studio for 10 News. Tonight, the raging debate on the epidemic sweeping the nation. Empathy. What does it mean? Will it affect us all? And could we be next? To cover more ground, we sent our own Freddie Fagacini out on the streets to get more information from...
Freddie what? Freddie what now? What was that name? Freddie what now?
Next. To cover more ground, we sent our own Freddie Fagacini out on the...
What now?
And could we be next? To cover more ground, we sent our own Freddie Fagacini...
Nope. Not touching that one.
Out on the streets to get more information from the people. Freddie? Alright, hi, how are you? What's your name?
Good. My name is CJ.
Oh wow, he actually went out onto the streets. Okay.
Adriana.
Adriana, do you guys know what empathy is?
Have like compassion for other people or
Yeah,
feel
like
how they feel.
See people in their shoes, right?
Feeling sensitivity towards another person besides yourself.
Now, how old are you guys?
I'm 25.
25? Okay.
18.
Would you guys think you have empathy?
No.
You'll get it at 32, trust me.
For others, I mean, yeah, I would say so.
Alright, word.
25.
25?
22.
You guys have empathy?
Yeah.
Developed it from birth, not at age 32 or anything? Yeah. Alright, good. That's good. Is pee stored in the balls?
Is pee stored in the balls?
He has an answer.
What does that mean?
No! That should just be an instant no!
Explain what balls is pee stored in.
You know, your balls.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, it depends on
Oh my god. I don't even know why he asked that question, but oh my god.
situations they may have went through.
TikTok has fried y'all's brains, man. Oh shit. Oh shit.
A skinny, bald white dude who lives in California.
It depends on what that guy went through, man. You know?
Went through nothing, had a good family.
Well, yeah, it is a bit mediocre.
Yeah, said the N-word on the internet.
Or, you know, he might...
N-word F smart.
Uh.
How do they not know who he's right? Well, they're young. Maybe Content Cop was before their time.
Okay. So said the N-word on the internet. What else he do? Like what? Like, okay.
He thought it was funny to him at the time.
And what age was he when he did that?
Like 26.
Like 26. But at 32, you saying?
Developed empathy.
Okay.
He also likes to watch other women or other men fuck his wife. Allegedly.
Damn. He's just going for it.
Oh, goodness.
Would you guys consider yourselves stoic?
Absolutely not.
Are we talking about a specific individual here?
His name is iDubbbz.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if he knows him now.
On YouTube.
iDubbbz.
Like if your wife tried to like peg you, you'd say no.
You would not say no. Talk to him about it.
50-50? Right?
Oh no shit.
What's his following like?
Well,
7 million.
Well, it used to be pretty big.
So you fucking it up for him?
A little bit. Not
Okay.
just me.
All
Not
right,
just me.
man. Good shit, man.
So you're trying to fuck it up for him? Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Not just me. Last question. I'm gonna end it on a more serious note. What do you guys think about people celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk?
You know, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Murder isn't right, man.
Right.
You know? So,
Whether or not you agree with them. I personally didn't agree with them.
hey, facts. Hey, murder isn't right, man. That's the only thing that I can say about that situation right there.
It's fucked up. No matter what your political views are, I don't think anybody should die
Yeah, I think everyone's on agree. Like, this is the take that every person should have.
For what they believe in.
So if someone says they feel no empathy for this person but touts empathy, this is a very specific place I'm going, but they tout empathy all the time, it's probably contradictory.
They're low-key contradicting themselves, I feel like.
All right, perfect. Yeah, you guys have a good day.
Ain't nothing low-key about it.
Chat, let's all say one nice thing about each other. As this video comes to an end, I think it's important that I lay out my point because I threw a lot of information out there. I think Charlie Kirk's situation stands as a cautionary tale to all of us that we shouldn't see debate and speech as violence. If we judge people's morality and existence to their political opinions, we're playing a dangerous game. I don't think that's a crazy concept, but maybe I grew up a little differently than Hashimoto's and Dr. Empath. I'll be the first to tell you that I've been on record criticizing Charlie Kirk, and I didn't agree with things that he said. Does that mean I can't feel for his family? No! And I know I'm not the only one to feel that way. With that said, if you don't feel for him, that's fine. All I ask for is some consistency and a little bit of humanity. Don't morally grandstand your empathy to me and in the same breath feel the need to shout from the rooftops before an autopsy is even performed about how much you hated this guy and don't feel bad about what happened. On top of the virtue signaling, if your entire personality online is being a fucking crybaby, I don't think people are gonna take you that seriously, nor feel bad for you when the internet shits on you for it. If you actually want to learn some perspective or even some compassion, start with the people that you don't like most. Otherwise, stop virtue signaling.
Yeah, you don't believe in free speech if you're not willing to defend the speech of people who disagree with you.
Drop the act and, I don't know, fucking shit on a table or something. To close, I'll echo the words of a once reasonable man. It's either all okay or none of it is. Stick by that and stop making exceptions.
We have an early look at Dark Viper AU's response.
What?
That's right.
Oh, we have an early look at Dark Viper's response. Let's see.
I've had enough.
Oh, wait. Is this from one of the videos I downloaded, or is this new?
I cannot believe it. I seriously cannot believe it.
Yeah, this is from one of the ones I downloaded. I have a plan for this one.
I've been almost up for 24 hours. I will not chill.
Bro is a fantasy writer on par with Sanderson.
Indeed. Fucking indeed. I'm not used to dealing with this level of anger. I don't understand how to deal with this level of anger. I cannot
Maybe you should go play some Among Us.
understand how a person has spent days repeating the same lies over and over again. This is a valid crash out. Dark Viper, fuck the Loch Ness Monster. How sick.
Oh yeah, this rage is epic, and he has worked very hard to delete it and the videos that caused it off the internet. But I have them. I archived them all, and I had to like hunt to find some of them because the guy that he bullied off the internet deleted them pretty much the same day. I am gonna make a video on it. I'm not gonna do it on stream. Like, it's gonna require some prep work, but subscribe to the channel. It's coming.
Sick of an individual you have to be to do something like this? It doesn't show the context. And it's just like, here's what the document's about. It's 14 pages.
Why can you not stop lying? Please stop lying! What is wrong with you? 4 days! And when I finally go, well, I have
4 days!
like one fucking video, one live stream, with the horrible things you did, and now I'm harassing you.
I will not chill.
So finally,
Deputy Fields.
What?
Yeah, John Hawes.
There's no chill in that man whatsoever. Oh, the crash outs are epic. But I know that he notoriously strikes people's channel. I'm going to keep an eye on Cameron to see if he striked him for using those clips, because he worked real hard to delete those clips off the internet, and he might try to strike people who use them. But don't worry. I think I've devised a way that we can react to Dark Viper clips or Dark Viper videos in their entirety without him being able to strike me. I've got a plan. Stay tuned. Like, I don't mind him play GTA Online, but he is damn bad on against constructive criticism. Constructive or destructive, that man can't handle any criticism whatsoever. Jesus. Wait till bro learns how many pages books have.
Threatening to make another content cop.
Ian Jamha is threatening to make another content cop.
These nuts guy.
Oh man. Well, now what? Say
nincompoop. That's what he was going to say. That's what he was going to say. There you go, Cameron. I helped you out. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Oh my God. All right. Well, that's the new content cop. All in all, much better than his last one. He's finally like finding his own footing here, so maybe we'll keep covering these. But the Charlie Kirk segment could have been cut entirely. Like, you could cut that segment out and just cut straight to the part about Dark Viper, and it wouldn't change anything about the video. And it would make it less political, and it would stay focused on the drama. I think that's... If I had one big criticism about this video, it would be that. Cut the Charlie Kirk segment. You don't need to explain what happened. You don't need to explain who Charlie Kirk was. You don't need to explain the things he said. Like, that's been talked to death. All you need to focus on is what Dark Viper said about him and how he's being a hypocrite for the things he said. Keep your video focused on the drama. Keep your video focused on the people you're making the video on. You don't need, we don't need all that backstory. It's like if they make a new Batman movie, we don't need to see Batman's parents die for the 8th time. I think everybody knows who Batman is now. We can just dive right in. The new Superman movie understood that. We don't need to see him grow up in Smallville and become Superman and learn his powers and land on Earth and blah, blah, blah. No, we can just dive right into, hey, here's Superman. You guys know who this is, right? Yeah, you can just do that. Dark Viper doesn't learn. No, he doesn't, and he can't. He does learn, because he'll talk about it after he does eventually calm down, and he'll have that moment of clarity where he'll talk about it and he'll say things like, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that," or "I shouldn't have done this." So he does learn from it, but he can't help himself. It's like a knee-jerk reaction for him. When he sees criticism, like he just sees red, and he can't help himself, and he crashes out, and then he feels bad about it later, and then he'll try to correct stuff. Or if he doesn't want to try to correct it, he'll do what he did last time, where he will scream at the person who criticized him, threaten them if they don't remove the videos, and basically use his audience to try to bully people off of the internet. Now, that worked on that autistic kid who called him out because that kid just wasn't ready. I'm a grown man. I am going to make a video on Dark Viper. And if by some miracle he sees it, he can send his autistic army after me all he fucking wants. It's not, my videos aren't coming down. That is never going to happen. I am not putting that much work into a video to take it down because you screamed at me on the internet. Go fuck yourself. That's never going to happen. So, I do have a plan for how I can do this, how I can bring those videos back from the dead that kid deleted. I'm going to cover the whole story. We're going to react to and show those videos in their entirety. We're going to show Dark Viper's reactions in their entirety because he doesn't want to strike people if they don't watch the entirety of my video. Like, he's got all these weird rules about fair use in his head that don't match reality. You can react to the entirety of a video as long as it's transformative. Like, he doesn't get to make up his own rules for fair use. Motherfucker's not bullying me. But just because I think it'll be funny and it'll prove a point, I am going to make them probably more transformative than anyone has ever made a Dark Viper reaction video before. Ever. And it'll be hilarious. And it'll probably make him more mad. And there will be nothing, legally speaking, that he can do about it. But that was Content Cop Empaths. So what we've learned about people on the internet from this newest Content Cop by Cameron F305. If you guys aren't subbed to him, you should go sub to him. He's doing a good job of becoming the internet's new Content Cop. But what we've learned from this is that if somebody on the internet screams about how they're an empath or how they feel empathy for someone or is constantly talking about how good a person they are or how right they are, etc., the opposite is probably always true. Our people online virtue signaling all the time? Almost certainly yes. Especially people like the ones in that video. But hey, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers so I can make a few shekels off this content that I'm making and reacting to. And, join us for the live streams. We do these every night, roughly 12 p.m., roughly 12 midnight Eastern, but that time's not set in stone. So hit the bell notification or follow me on my socials to see when I go live. For now, thanks for watching this one. I'll see you guys in the next video.